Brother, chivalry ain't dead. Women these days, they work more, they're more independent, and in many cases, they're doing better than the men are doing, right? And that has led many men to believe that they don't care if we stop all of those chivalrous things that we do, that we used to do. Well, you're wrong, and women still like that stuff. One of my favorite verses in the Quran, God says there in chapter 30, فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ. He says, فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ, God's nature. And when we say God's nature here, it doesn't mean his own nature, meaning that's part of his own essence. It means that his nature that he created that is in his possession. So if I say John's pen, it doesn't mean that that pen is part of John. No, it means that he owns the pen, it's in his possession. So we're talking about God's nature that he created and is in his possession that he bestows upon mankind. And watch this next statement, لا تبديل لخلق الله. There is no change in the creation of God. So there are some things that are ingrained in our nature as human beings. And I don't care how high your wife goes in her company, she will always appreciate you holding the door open for her. Okay, women in general will always like small kindnesses. Yes, they're small, but they're easy ways for us to keep them happy. And don't feel that this is a burden. It should be something that you're happy to do, not only because you're bringing about her happiness, but because it's a way for you to get rewarded from God for your efforts. And I know we already know all this stuff, but sometimes we need a reminder so that we can bring the stuff that we know to the forefront of our minds so we can actually start practicing it. So I'm going to list some chivalrous actions that we should, if we're not doing them already, start implementing them today. So hold the door for her. While at a restaurant, pull out her seat first and allow her to sit before you do. Give her your jacket when she's cold. Buy her flowers every now and then. Take notice of her condition and see what she needs at the moment. When it rains, hold the door open on her side of the car and wait till she gets in. So those are some chivalrous things that we should start to try and implement with our wives. Two more things to keep in mind about this law. The first thing, sometimes she may mean the opposite of what she says. So this is so critical, really. Some women, I guess they don't respond the way you think that they should respond to a nice gesture. So they'll say things like, "Why did you spend so much money? Why'd you come out this far for a drive? Why did you work so hard? You didn't have to do all that." They appreciate it. They really do. It's just they weren't expecting it, right? Maybe you caught them off guard. And so they're shocked at this. And so the response is not what you would expect. And they may also say things like, "Oh, we don't have to go today. You don't have to buy me anything. You don't always have to hold the door," and so on and so forth. They really appreciate it. They do. So keep doing those things and everything will be all right. Second thing we need to keep in mind is, don't do all these things just to get out of trouble. Okay, they're not stupid. They'll be able to see if, every time you have an argument and she's mad at you, you buy, flowers just end up at her door. You don't buy her flowers any other time, but every single time you have a fight, all of a sudden flowers appear at the doorstep. That kind of stuff they will notice. And, in that, if that's the case, then what you do actually won't have an effect. Okay, so do these things to make her happy, not just to get out of trouble. Brother Q, signing off. Assalamu alaikum.